Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to continue talking about the measures of center, the median and the mode, and also a measure of variability, the range. Yesterday we talked about the mean. The definition is still here. We're going to add all the values together and divide by the number of values, and that gives us an equal distribution of the data, or an average. For our median, we're going to find the middle value after we've ordered our set of data from least to greatest. And our mode is the value that occurs the most often compared to the rest of the data. And our range, which is our measure of variability, we're going to subtract the lowest value from the highest value to find the range. So let's get started with the median. So always our first step, we need to order our data from least to greatest. So my lowest value here is a 2, then a 3, and I'm going to cross them out so that I don't forget my numbers here or I don't write them twice. 5, and then a 6. Okay, so now I want to cross out a number from the left, a number from the right, and work towards the middle to find that middle value, the median. And I notice here our median is 4. So I'm just going to keep it, I'll rewrite it. Median, 4. Number 2, we have our ages of brothers here. Again, I want to list this from least to greatest. So I'm going to start with 8. And then we have an 11, a 12, 2 14s, so I'm going to list both 14s, a 15, and a 16. Okay, so again I'm going to cross out one from the left, one from the right as I move towards the center or middle of the data. And we're left with this 14 in the middle, so our median is 14. Next, for the height of trees here, again, we want to list them from least to greatest. It's always the first step. So we have 2 6s that we're going to list. Then we have 3 7s. And then a 9 and an 11. All right, so again, cross out one from the left and right as we move towards the center. And I notice here we have 7 left in the middle. Okay, on to number 4, the sizes of bottled juice. So let's order them from least to greatest. I have 6, 6, 12, another 12, a 16, and a 24. So we're going to cross them out one at a time here. And I have 2 12s that are left in the middle. When we have an even number of values in our data set, like we do in number 4 here, then we want to add the 2 middle numbers together and divide by 2. So really we're finding the average of those leftover numbers, or the midpoint between those 2 numbers. So if I add 12 and 12 together, I'm going to put this on the left-hand side, and then divide by 2. That's 24 divided by 2, which is 12. So the middle of 12 and 12 is 12. So our median is 12. All right, we're on to our last problem here. So we're going to have an 8, another 8, 10, another 10, 14, and a 14. All right, so as I work towards the middle, again, we're left with 2 numbers in the middle. We're going to add them together, 10 plus 10, and then divide by 2. That's going to be 10. Now let's say the 2 numbers were different. Let's say, for example, I had a 12 here instead. We're going to follow the same steps, and we would add those 2 numbers together and still divide by 2. 10 plus 12 is 22, and 22 divided by 2 is 11. So in that case, if we didn't have 2 10s and we had a 10 and a 12, the median would be 11 instead. Okay, let's move on to talking about the mode. The mode is the number that occurs the most often when you're comparing to the rest of the values. So let's take a look at number 1. Again, we have the length of worms here. We have a 3, 5, 4, 2, and 6. There are no numbers here that occur more often than the rest. So in this case, we would say there is no mode. Number 2, the ages of our brothers, or of brothers. I see we have 14 that occurs twice, and that's the only number that occurs more than once. So in this case, the mode would be 14 because it occurs more often than the other numbers. For number 3, the height of our trees, we have 3 sevens, but we also have 2 sixes. Since the sevens occur more often than the sixes, our mode would be 7 only. The sixes do not matter. All right, number 4, the sizes of our bottled juice. All right, I have 2 sixes here, and I also have 2 12s. The 6s and the 12s occur more often than the 16 and the 24. So in this case, 6 and 12 are the mode, both of them. So it's possible to have no mode. It's possible to have one number as a mode. It's possible to have 2 or 3 numbers as a mode. So let's take a look at the last one, number 5. I notice here we have 2 10s, 2 8s, and 2 14s. So I'm going to ask myself, is there any number that occurs more often than the rest of them? In this case, no, they all occurred twice. That's not more than the rest of them. So this one too has no mode. All right, let's move on to the range now. And the range is simply subtracting the highest value from the lowest value. So I'm going to put our work down here on the bottom. The highest value for a length of worms is 6 inches. The lowest is 2 inches. So we're going to subtract 6 minus 2. So that means our range is 4 inches. Number 2, for our ages of brothers, the oldest brother is 16 years old. That's the highest value. The youngest brother is 8 years old. So we're going to subtract the highest minus the lowest. That gives us 8 years for the range. Number 3, the height of our trees. The highest or tallest tree is 11, and the shortest tree is 6. So the range is 5 meters between the height of the trees. For number 4, the size of our bottle juice in liters. The largest bottle is 24 liters. The smallest bottle is 6. So we're going to subtract 24 minus 6 to give us 18. So our range is 18 liters. Then the last one for the football team wins. The highest value is 14. The lowest value is 8. So we're going to subtract 14 minus 8 to give us 6. All right, so if you have questions, join me on the call. Otherwise, you could message me on Google Classroom, and we'll speak to you guys soon. Have a good day.